The Mach Effect. Propellantless propulsion. Pushing on the fabric of space-time itself. Here comes the Mac Chugger. It's made of capacitors and piezoelectric vibrators, and it moves through space without propellant exhaust. I say there, Shock Turtle here. You may remember me from Frozen Princess Turtle Rescue. Look it up on YouTube. Well, I've gotten my PhD in astrophysics and with a minor in herpetology and testudinology. I mistook them for cures to my previous carefree lifestyle, but then found that there weren't any girl turtles in orbit. E equals mc squared. Familiar enough by now, and you see that if the mass varies, then so does the energy. But we can turn this around. If the energy varies, then so does the mass. So, how can we put energy into a mass? Here's where we have the Woodward equation for the energy in a capacitor dielectric. As the power applied to charge the capacitor increases the inflow of energy, the accumulation of energy actually increases the mass of the dielectric. As the capacitor discharges, the mass of the dielectric decreases. This is the basis of the Mach effect. Energy changes the mass of the capacitors, and oscillating mass is represented in our chugger by the changing darkness of the gray ball spheres. Now, as the rearward mass increases and the forward mass decreases, the connector lengthens. Since the heavier mass is in the rear, somewhat like my last girlfriend, the lengthening connector forces the lighter front mass farther forward than the Newton's third law reaction forces the heavier rearward mass back. Conversely, when the heavier mass is in the front, if you like that sort of thing, a shortening connector will pull the rearward mass forward farther than the forward mass is pulled back, and this will produce a net change or translation in the center of mass. As for the connector, it needs to push and pull, expand and contract between the gray balls, and to do that we need a piezoelectric material. Piezoelectrics change their internal mechanical strain in response to an applied electric field. So, application of an oscillating electric field is just what we need to oscillate our chugger's balls. And there you have it. Oscillating energy oscillates mass. We realize this Mach effect in our chugger by the vigorous application of changing energy, properly phased in time to the capacitance in our balls, and to the piezoelectric thruster between them. The oscillation of the masses and the connector translates into a net translation of the center of mass, which, translated from the physics jargon, is known as movement. By any other name, energy-producing movement is propulsion. And here's the important point. Here's the distinction with a difference. The whole ball of wax. The bottom line. The executive summary and synopsis. This movement, this travel through space, is produced without expulsion of mass. There's no exhaust, and the total mass of the chugger does not decrease. There is no mass of propellant to retard acceleration, no propellant to throw away, no propellant to run out of. Propellantless propulsion, as if you were roped and rappelling along a stairway of carabiners, clamped to piton spikes, pulling on the steps of spacetime. The fuel is energy, and the fuel, it has only one role, to power the dielectric fields and piezoelectric effect, producing the movement of the center of mass. The fuel is not propellant. There is no propellant. Have energy, will travel, without end. The Mach effect. Propellantless propulsion. Pushing on the fabric of space-time itself.